What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a good day. I know I am. I finally got some parts that I've been waiting on to come in, and finally it's the day to get some stuff swapped out that I've been waiting on for a minute. And you guys probably have a good idea on what one of those are, and the other stuff you probably don't. I'm gonna get into two of those things right now, and the other third thing will probably wait until that inevitably comes in, if it doesn't take too long. First, we'll go over this. We got some new tires for the rear. So as you guys know, if you watched the last couple of videos or you just seen pictures or seen this car in person, you'll know that my rear tires are honestly really skinny for the kind of look that I'm gonna go for. Honestly, just really skinny in general. These are a 235/35 R19 tire. And honestly, it's just not enough sidewall. The sidewall is super skinny. It's really stretched, and I don't have like crazy fitment like that. I don't need that super big stretch on them. So we upped to a Federal 595 245/40 R19. This should give us a little bit more meat on the back end, about 10 mil wider, and it is 10% bigger, or sorry, 5% bigger on the sidewall. I did a bunch of math and a bunch of looking up pictures of stretch tires, all this, that, and the other, to try to figure out exactly what I wanted. I wanted a little bit more contact patch, and I also wanted a meatier sidewall, just so I didn't have this big of a roll on my tires. When you run this big of a stretch, you risk hitting potholes and other things like that. And honestly, the stretch looks sick for what it is. It's just not for this setup that I'm going for. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but not right now. So we up tire size. I think the 245/40 will be the perfect combo. And I know the 595s stretch really well and have a good sidewall. When you do stretch them, as you can see, they're like super round. So I'm hoping to fill this out a little bit more. If I need to, I will still, honestly, I'm probably going to put a 5 mil bigger spacer on here to push this out a little bit more. Might have to add a little bit of camber at that point, depending on how the tire sits, but I'm not 100% sure until we get them on. Other than that, we got a pretty simple mod for today, other than the tires, which we'll get into when they actually get put on and everything like that here in a few minutes, because you guys don't watch the whole thing. But we picked us up some, I guess it's P2M brand. I have no idea. I just thought they looked good. Floor mats for the 370Z. These should be exact replacements for the stock floor mats that are in this car, just because mine are beat up. So we'll go ahead and rip those out real quick. Don't mind them being a little dusty. They're not in the greatest condition to begin with, and I'll show you that here in a second. They're definitely not the worst, but why not do a little bit of a refresh? So there's the first floor mat. As I said, kind of dusty, but all of this is ripping up over here. All of this is worn down. I just think it's time for a little bit of a refresh. Why not make the interior a little more my style? The passenger floor mat is pretty minty. There's nothing really wrong with it. I'm guessing you just never had a whole lot of feet down there in the well. But once you replace one, you should replace both. So that's what we did. Stock Z-mats out. A big thing that I liked about these is they fit my colorways decently well. I have a lot of, clearly it's gray and black on the interior. So I figured it would look pretty nice. Let's go ahead and toss these Johnnies in. These floor mats do have the holes made for the pegs down there in front of the seat, but they also came with these tack strips of Velcro that I'm gonna go ahead and throw on just to keep it from moving around as much as I possibly can and folding up. Should look pretty good. Something along those lines. Hell yeah. All right, let's take this thing down. And just like that, one, and I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, two floor mats are in. Very simple install, but cleans it up a lot. Gives it a fresh look on the inside, which we're always waiting for. We need them seats though. That's on the list. We need some buckets in here. I don't know exactly what buckets I want to go for, but I want buckets. Buckets just look sick in any car. I don't even care if it's a track car, stance car, whatever the hell, drift car. Buckets just look sick. give it that more sporty feeling. So we're definitely going to be looking into getting bucket seats in a car finally. Neither one of my old cars, my Miatas or anything like that, had bucket seats, so it'd be cool to finally get some in this thing. We'll see. We'll have to look around for some deals or figure out what I'm gonna do with that. Now, let's get this rear jacked up, pop these wheels off, throw my stock rears on so I can set it back down on the ground until we get back, and go get these tires changed out. I don't know why this thing has a ridiculous amount of suspension sag. I have the preload set pretty high. I think I just have way too short of springs in here, to be honest. Kind of need bigger springs, and if I end up going stiffer, I will definitely get bigger springs. But for now, they do all right. Nice. Oh, it's a hell of a stretch. I don't know if you guys should be able to see that. It's just way too much for my liking. Not for my liking, just for how the car's set up. Just needs less than this. It's a little unnecessary. Fitment actually looks pretty decent. Oh, son. They're not bad, really. Doesn't look horrible. It's definitely a hell of a lot taller. Not bad though. Not bad at all. Definitely needs a bigger spacer if I were to run stock. Not going to. 18s are too small. But it does look pretty decent. Little tiny bit of camber I have. Here's the height. Let's do the other side. Not going to show you that. Don't really need to. Same thing. Let's knock it off. You ready? Yep. All right, so we're back with the wheels and tires mounted. They're beefy. They're way beefier than they were before. This is like a drift spec, I would say now. It looks pretty insane. Hopefully we don't run into any issues. It definitely still has a little stretch, but 595s have a big round sidewall that don't show it very well. So we'll go ahead and show you guys. This is what we're working with. A bit more schmeat. Definitely pulls it away from the lip a little bit, but not much. A lot less than it was before, which makes me feel way more safe on these tires. Like not blowing the beat off wise, or, you know, whatever, however you want to refer to it. So yeah, let's throw these Johns on, see how they look. All right, so before we get on to showing you the car, we're actually doing a little more to it. So it's been about a week since you guys saw me last, which was only seconds ago for you guys, but it's been roughly a week, yeah, like 5 days. For me, we got some more stuff in the mail. And by stuff, I mean 5 mil bigger spacers for the rear. So we're going to throw those on and then eventually show you guys. I'll get into a little of the details. I've tried to drive it around since having this setup on it, and it's a little botched at the moment. And what I mean by that is the Z's have speed sensors, I guess, in the wheels. And I didn't really think about this, and honestly probably should have. But on like all-wheel drive cars and stuff, it matters a lot which ratios of like tires you're using. Like they need to be within a certain percentage of size, so they have the same rotating speed. Think of it as like a small gear and a big gear on a bike. Small gear rotates faster than the big gear. That's basically what's happening right now. With my rear tires being so much bigger than my fronts, I have about a 4.8 rotating, 4.8% I should have said, rotating difference. And it is causing all of my speed sensors to wig out super hard, and it's tripping my ABS light, it's tripping my slip and my VDC light, which not ideal. I'd rather this have no lights on it like all of my cars always had. I've always taken pride in not having lights on, so we're gonna fix that. We got tires for the fronts, as well as bigger spacers for the rear. The tires probably won't be on in this video more than likely, unless I can get out there within this weekend, and then I would love to throw it in this video. Hopefully they are. I might just try to extend it out and make it happen. I would like to upload this video because it's going on a couple weeks, but I kind of like showing the whole car at once. I don't really like doing pieces and like just the rears and stuff. It doesn't matter. We're gonna get onto the rear. All right, so it is officially dark outside. It's like 10 o'clock and we're still working. It is what it is. We're getting this rear dialed in pretty well. I have the rear spacer on. It took me forever because of the extended studs. Not putting them on, but getting them out. So if you have a 370Z, I wish you the best of luck for your extended studs, because that was ridiculous. Yes, it's raining behind me, so if you hear the rain, don't mind that. But this is what we are working with for Fitment. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn let's just feel spicy. Looks super good. Honestly, we have a decent amount of rear camber now from just lowering it naturally. Almost matches the front. The front looks like it may be a little bit less. So this is probably around like 3.5, 4 degrees, because I know the front's at like 2.9. This looks sick. We haven't got to the other side yet, because like I said, those studs were kicking my ass. There's a bright light there. Sorry for the flashbang. This looks sick. Super sick. With the meats on there and everything. I'm super hype on this. All right, new day. As you can probably tell by the haircut, and I'm wearing glasses now. We are still working on the Z diligently. We have both of the rears set up now, basically sitting exactly how I wanted them to sit. The first side is looking pretty fresh, and the side that we just went ahead and did today is also looking very good. Very good. I measured them out from lip to fender arch, and the driver's side was measuring at 1 inch and 7/16 from lip to fender arch. And then I measured the other side the exact same way and got it dialed in. That was my first shot at it. Was actually like 1 inch and 3/8, so I was like a 16th off. So before tightening everything up, I just made it a tiny bit higher, just to try to match them as closely as I can. As you can still see by the trash cans and shit in the road, it is still raining pretty good. It's been raining for like the past 4 or 5 days. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. I have to hop back in here and mess with the e-brake. As some of you may know or not know, these things have drum e-brakes in the rear. And the other side I got mint because I realized my problem with this side. I thought it was adjusted enough, but it was not, and it's just kind of free spinning. My e-brake handle is like super loose, so I got to get in here and adjust this one. I got the other side mint, just got to make this side mint. Sucks that it's all back together, but like, oh well, we'll do it. We'll deal with it. All right, we're back, and like I said before, we ended up getting the tires for the fronts and getting them mounted and stuff. That was a bit of a doozy. Took a bit longer than I was wishing to put those, or get the tires put on these things and whatever, but it's all good. We have one of the tires on the front now. We are having to adjust the height a little bit because the tires are a bit taller and a little bit less stretch, so they're like, you know, closer to the fenders and whatnot. Unfortunately, we have to adjust the height. I didn't really want to, but it kind of just is what it is. So we are doing that. The driver's front is done. Moving on to the passenger front. We probably are going to need an alignment after this again, which sucks. But again, is what it is. I would like my car to work properly and look good. So we're just going to roll with it. Here are the fronts and the front stretch. Not a whole lot. You can see it is pretty meaty. I mean, definitely could be meatier, but definitely a lot less stretch than what we had before. Honestly, pretty similar to the rears. The rears aren't very stretched, but they're a little stretched. So they're pretty damn similar, which is sick. So we are going to throw these on. Like I said, this one's on there already. We're gonna throw this one on. I gotta do a bunch of adjustment so we can drive my car again. Today should be the final day, I hope. We took it on a small little test drive last night after getting all of the wheels mounted and everything like that, and everything went pretty well. All in all, I would say it was a successful test drive. Ran into a couple minor issues, and those are, we're rubbing a tiny bit in the front. We need a little bit more front camber. Bring the wheels in a tiny bit more, and it should lower the front down a tiny bit more as well, so that could be kind of cool, I guess. But we definitely need a little bit more front camber. We're rubbing, I'll show you this way, like right in here. You can kind of see it on the tire a bit, like up in here. And I also have a squeak out of my front right. All right, so we're in here now. We got both of these broken loose. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a mark with a Sharpie, just kind of do like a line, like straight down here and a line straight down here, just so I can count the rotations and try to match it as much as I can. Since this has been aligned and has been zeroed out camber, or it's at like an exact camber, so if I try to match them, hopefully it keeps these things in line. All right, so everything is mounted in the front and adjusted. Everything tightened down. We're looking good, looking like we'll clear. I actually went and just picked up a corded drill for cheap to do some polishing on my wheels. I got a couple sets of different things. I got some actual wheels and I got some cones and some white diamond polishing. Hoping this stuff does all right. I'm gonna polish up the wheels. They're looking pretty cloudy, not in the best of shape, so we're hoping to bring it back to life a bit. Get this car backed out and show you the whole thing, so I can finally bring this video to an end. It's been a long time of recording to set this whole thing up. So yeah, let's just knock it out. All right, so we're finally here to wrap this video up. Got the car outside, everything fitted back up correctly, and an extra little piece that I didn't show you guys in this video. We added a wing, we added a little duck bill, and I think it looks fantastic. This car looks insane. It looks pretty wild, if you ask me. It's not stanced, it's not lifted. It's like a drift car look, I guess you could say. It's pretty sick. We'll just go ahead and show you guys. So here she is. With the wing. This thing looks pretty insane to me. I know some people might hate on the front fitment and stuff. I'm still trying to use this car, have fun with it. I want to still be able to drive it anywhere that I want. So it's not super slammed or anything like that. It is decently tall front end wise, but I think it looks absolutely killer. I love these angles of just the rear quarter. Oh, I also polished the wheels. So the wheels were a little hazy and stuff. I didn't go too ham on them. I spent about an hour on each of the wheels last night, maybe a little over, just to get them a bit more cleaned up than they were. I love this angle though, just of everything. It's kind of hard to get it all in the shot of this, but it looks so good. Couldn't be more happy on how this thing is turning out. You get some rollers and whatnot for you guys eventually. Front end just looks pretty cool. I know there's a good chance a lot of you figured that this would get absolutely slammed on the ground, and it might happen eventually, I'm not sure. Go decent amount of camber, really low. Just right now, this is like my only car, as you guys might know. So I want to keep it drivable. I think this is a perfect height. Nothing to really worry about braking or anything like that, and it looks super good. Definitely usable. Probably end up putting like a two-way or something in it, some kind of locking diff, whether it's welded or whatever it is, just so I can kind of swing it a little bit. This thing looks like it definitely can swing, so we're gonna definitely do it a little. Yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is probably a bit longer of one, so I appreciate it if you stuck it all the way through. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out. Have a good one.